Today we discussed, the lecture was started with a discussion on the implantable materials. So what is meant by implantable material? Implantable material means something which you which you do repairing to the body. For example, uh, if you want to, if something is called as an implantable material, it means that it can be implanted inside the human body. For example, if you are using materials like sutures or vascular grafts or artificial ligaments or artificial tendons, what these things you can use inside the human body with the which is in contact with the tissues and the bones and the muscles, etc. But whereas if you are using a bandage or a wound dressing, etc., you will use it outside your human body. That is the exterior portion. Okay, that will touch the skin, but that will not touch the internal organs. But whereas implantable material is something that will touch the internal organs. Okay, so that is used in affecting a repair to the body. So when I ask the question, what is mean by suture? What should be the answer? Immediate answer from your side. The answer should be it is a wound closure. Okay, it is a wound closure is the correct answer, or you can say it is a wound closure, and it is a uh, stitching thread to close the bruised skin. For example, if there is a cut in the skin, if you do not close the skin, what will happen? It will create further damage to the skin. The size will become higher, and some infection will happen. So you need to close the skin. So that for that you need a stitching thread. So these sutures are stitching threads, and it is a for used for closing the wound. So that should be the answer. And for this, yesterday we have discussed about what are its importance. One of the prime importance is the biocompatibility, because it is used inside the human body, which is in the close contact with the tissues. Okay, so if you see, what did we learn in the yesterday's lecture? We have discussed about the factors that are important for the sutures, like what is important, the porosity, and the fibers which you are using should be small and circular in nature, so that it will be better encapsulated with the tissue. So that is we have seen. And other properties like toxic substances should not be released from the polymer, and these things are important, and biodegradability. So these we have discussed. And then we have discussed about the sutures in detail. We have started to discuss what are the desirable properties of a suture material that we have seen. And the classification of suture, classification can be done in two ways. You can classify them. One classification is you can classify the suture based on the number of filaments, whether it is a monofilament or a multifilament or a pseudo monofilament. Or you can classify them based on how it is absorbed in the human body. That is, whether it is an absorbable type of a suture or a non-absorbable type of a suture. Okay, so it is biodegradable or non-biodegradable. So that we have seen, and how to manufacture the suture, that we have seen. And other things which we have discussed is the tensile property, and the classification we have discussed yesterday. There are different classifications, like number of filaments, and the whether it is absorbable or not absorbable. What are the naturally absorbable sutures, synthetically absorbable sutures? What are non-absorbable natural sutures and non-absorbable synthetic sutures? That we have discussed. And we have discussed about monofilament uh, for suture and its drawbacks, multifilament suture and its drawbacks, and what are pseudo monofilament sutures, that we have seen. And then we completed the lecture with this topic, which is the absorbable and the non-absorbable type of a suture. In that, we have discussed about two sutures in the natural absorbable suture. One is the catgut and collagen, which we have also already discussed in the previous lectures also. So that till that we have discussed. So today what we'll do is we'll move on to the next set of discussion on the same sutures topic, which is the synthetic sutures which are absorbable. It does not always mean that something is natural means it will absorb in the human body, and the synthetic will not absorb. It is not the correct thing. So if you see, um, There are a number of synthetic sutures which are absorbable inside the human body. They are polydioxanone, polyglyconate, polyglycapron, polyglycolic acid, polygalactin 910. These are the synthetic sutures which are absorbable in the human body. If you see, what is meant by polydioxanone? These names must be new to you. You may have not have learned this before this lecture. So this is a monofilament synthetic absorbable type of a suture, and it is a polymer. It is a thermoplastic polymer containing multiple repeating units of ether and ester. Okay, in the structure of the polymer, you have the ether and ester repeating unit, and if you see the characteristic of this suture, the thing is it allows easier passage of through the tissue, because this is very important. Easier passage, the suture can easily pass over to the tissue, and there is a decreased tissue reactivity and a decreased risk of wound infection. These are the advantages of this suture. And if you see this polydioxanone, they have a decreased initial strength when compared to other sutures like polygalactin 910 or polyglycolic acid. But the advantage is it is more slowly resorbed. That is, it is more slowly absorbed inside the human body and retain the strength for longer time. Though the initial strength is lesser, the retention of strength is higher, and it is slowly absorbed, and it retains 70% of the original tensile strength at 2 weeks, 50% at 4 weeks, and 25% at 6 weeks. So the strength actually gradually reduces with the increase in the time. So if you see in a period of say around 6 weeks, in the sense around within 1.5 months, the strength will get completely reduced, and after that within 60 days it will get completely absorbed in the human body. So this is one of the popular type of a suture. It is marketed under the name called PDS, Ethicon. It is a trade name under which this polydioxanone is sold. Polydioxanone is a chemical name. And the next is the polyglyconate. And if you see, this is a copolymer of glycolic acid and trimethylene. This is also a synthetic suture. It is monofilament in nature. If you see, it is absorbed by the process called the hydrolysis, where the polymer, when it is reacts with water, the number of bonds which are present, that will get broken slowly, and it will get degraded. So it is absorbed by the hydrolysis starting at the day 60 and complete by the day 180. Within 180 days, it will completely get absorbed, and the strength retention, it is there for up to 21 days. It retains the tensile strength for more than 21 days. So this is the advantage. And the half-life of the breaking strength is around 28 days. And if you see the other properties, it has a good handling characteristics, best knot security of all the synthetic monofilament absorbable sutures, and it is superior to other fibers like nylon and polybutyl ester for tendon repair. What is a tendon? Tendon is a connective tissue, okay, which connects the bone and the muscle. Bone and muscle are connected by a tissue called tendon. Okay, so this connective tissues can also be repaired. If, for example, if any tissue gets broken, the tissue can be repaired with the help of a stitch by using a suture material. So for this, tendon repair can also be done with the help of the polyglyconate type of a suture. It has certain advantages. And the next is the polyglycapron. This is another type of a synthetic absorbable suture. It is sold under the trade name called the monocrine. And if you see, it is an extremely pliable type of a suture material, very flexible. It is derived from the segmented copolymer of caprolactone and glycolide. So these two are the monomers used to synthesize this polyglycapron. And the pliability, because of the extreme pliability, it is very flexible. So the handling characteristics are good, excellent handling characteristics. And if you see the strength properties, after 2 weeks, around 20 to 30% strength is lost after it is implanted in the body, and it is completely absorbed by hydrolysis in 90 days. Next type of a suture material is polyglycolic acid. This polyglycolic acid already we have discussed before some 2-3 lectures back. Just we will go back to the same type of a fiber. Just a minute, I will scroll the PPT to. Yes, this is the one. So see, this polyglycolic acid is a biodegradable thermoplastic polymer. It can even be prepared by the monomer called glycolic acid by a polycondensation or a ring opening polymerization method. But the it is used as a suture material and it has certain advantages. But the thing is, it has a hydraulic instability. So the uses of this fiber suture material, it is actually limited. So if you see this fiber when it is used as a suture, it is degraded by a process called hydrolysis, and it is absorbed by the absorption in the human body is completed between 60 and 90 days. This is what we have learned. Apart from that, what we are going to learn now for the point of view of sutures, what are we going to learn? So here, if you see the sutures, it is sold under the name called Dexon. It is a trade name under which this polyglycolic acid is sold. It is the multifilament braided suture which is synthesized from the glycolic acid, and it has a moderate relative knot security and causes minimal tissue reaction. This is the property, and it is absorbed completely within the body by the hydrolysis around 100 to 120 days, and it loses its tensile strength 33% within 7 days of implantation and 80% within 14 days of implantation. It is also widely used in clean and contaminated wounds. Superior tensile strength as compared to catgut sutures and good suture handling characteristics. But the drawback is it has a poor knot security and poor stability in the alkaline environment. So alkaline environment can make the degradation very fast. So that is the disadvantage associated with this suture. Next is the polyglactin 910. This is another type of suture which is sold under the name called Vicryl. So if you see, this is also a multi-filament suture. It is available in the braided form. And how it is produced? It is a copolymer of glycolic acid and lactic acid, which is coated with the calcium stearate. And this is also absorbed in the human body within 100 to 120 days. And it retains tensile strength up to 14 to 21 days of the implantation. And since you are giving some coating that is a calcium stearate, so it will have some good handle properties. The smoothness will be there because of the presence of the calcium stearate. So that because of the smoothness, some sort of a lubrication is there, so that the tissue drag will be very less, and the minimal tissue reaction in the contaminated wounds. But advantages are very good. For example, you see it is stable in the alkaline environment, and it has higher tensile strength and knot strength. So these are all the synthetic absorbable sutures. We have discussed about the number of synthetic absorbable sutures, which are around some 5 sutures. That is the polydioxanone, polyglyconate, polyglycaprone, polyglycolic acid, and then polyglactin 19. These are the synthetic sutures which are absorbable in the human body. Okay. So next what we will discuss is non-absorbable suture. Non-absorbable suture means, what does it mean? It does not mean that it is never absorbable. So that you have to understand. Non-absorbable means it does not mean that it is never absorbable. It will be absorbed, but the time for absorption is higher. It will take more than 60 days to absorb. Okay. So what does it mean? It can retain the strength up to longer than 60 days. Okay. It can retain the strength for longer than 60 days. There are examples for this. One of the example is the polypropylene fiber. This is a non-absorbable suture material that has a higher strength, that up to 60 days it can retain the strength. But whereas if you see the other sutures which we have discussed, like polydioxazone or polyglactin, etc., those sutures do not have that much of a strength retention. Okay, so that we are going to see. And if you see, like similar to the absorbable sutures, these sutures also have two groups classifications. One is natural and synthetic. First, we will see the natural sutures which are non-absorbable. It would be surprising to you to see the natural fibers and it is non-absorbable. So what does these words are surprising? In natural means it should absorb. Why it is not absorbing? Natural does not mean that it will absorb very fast. Okay, so that you need to see. So if you see the silk fibers, it is one of the oldest fibers used in the sutures. Okay, for thousands of years we have been using the silk fibers as a sutures. You know about silk, how it is obtained. It is made of the cocoon of the silkworm larvae. It is available as a multi-filament braided suture. So this is coated with any kind of a lubricants like oil, wax, or silicones. Properties, you see, it will take more time to lose its strength. I will lose its strength after 2 years. Handle characteristics are excellent and knot security, and it is used in the ophthalmology, that is the eye surgery. Okay, and if you see what are the drawbacks of these sutures, these sutures, you see, the reduced knot security. The knot security is not that higher when compared to the other sutures, and it incites tissue reaction. What is meant by tissue reaction? It will, you see, the silk sutures can react with the tissue, so that it will create some sort of a reaction with the tissue, so that tissue also will start getting affected. So it will not only solve the problem of the wound healing, it will also further create some damage to the tissues. Okay, so because of the reaction with the tissue, some sort of a damage to the tissues also can take place. So that is called the tissue reaction. So the tissue reaction is expected to be minimum, or it should not be there. So that is why the suture, the important property, one of the important characteristic of the suture is it should be inert. It should not react with the tissue. And next thing is, it causes infection and capillarity. See, because of the capillary action of the silk, what will happen is from one side of the suture, the infection can spread to the tissue. Like that, some problems can happen because of the capillary action of the silk sutures. So that is a disadvantage. And another problem is it loses its strength after 2 years. It takes more time to degrade. And if you see, the next non-absorbable suture is the linen. Linen, you know very well, it is a bast fiber. It is made from the flax. It is available in the twisted form. It is used in the many surgeries like general surgery, gynecology, cardiovascular surgery, gastroenterological intestinal surgery, and plastic surgery. And the thing is, This linen suture, it is not absorbed, and hence it does not lose the strength. This is very important to note. It is not absorbed, and hence it does not lose the strength. And this linen, if you see, it gains 10% of the strength when it is wet. It is also available in treated with, after you treat them with the silicone or polyvinyl solution. You can sell them as a coated sutures. So that is available. And advantages is it has a better handling characteristics and excellent uh, knot security. So this is a advantage. So if you see, the problem with this suture is it is non-absorbable. So that is the problem with this suture. And the next suture is cotton. Cotton, you know very well, it is a very common type of a fiber which is produced from the seed hairs of the cotton plant. And it was introduced during the Second World War to replace the silk sutures, because silk sutures had certain problems which we have seen, like the tissue reaction, low knot security, and the infection, capillarity, etc. But whereas cotton had certain advantages and disadvantages also. If you see cotton gains tensile strength and knot security when wet. You know very well the cellulose is the component present in the, it is the polymer which is present in the cotton. 95% contains the cellulose, so it has a higher wet strength. So if you see, it slowly loses the tensile strength after the implantation. That is 50% loss of tensile strength at 6 months and 70% loss of tensile strength at 2 years. This also takes a very higher time to degrade. However, it is not a absorbable suture. Though it takes strength loss takes place after so much time, it is a non-absorbable suture, you can say. But the advantage is it has a better knot security than the silk. And here again, if you see the disadvantages, these are the important disadvantages associated with the cotton type of suture. What are its disadvantages? Capillarity. Capillary, because of the capillary action, the infection can spread to the tissues. That is a problem. And tissue reactivity can react more with the tissues. And inferior handling ability due to the electrostatic properties and the ability to potentiate the infection. So these are the disadvantages associated with the cotton sutures. So this silk, linen, and cotton, these are the examples of non-absorbable natural sutures. Okay, so that you need to understand. Now we will see the non-absorbable synthetic sutures. So there are a number of sutures from the synthetic fibers like polyester, polyamide, polypropylene, polybutyl ester, and stainless steel. These are the non-absorbable synthetic sutures. What are they? First, we will see the polyester. It is a braided multifilament suture available in plain and also in the form of a coated materials. You can coat with a number of chemicals like Teflon or silicone or polybutylate, so that what will happen, the tissue drag will reduce, so that because of the smoothness and the lubrication. And the important characteristic is it is one of the strongest non-metallic suture. Okay, in the polymeric suture, this is the strongest type of a suture, and it undergoes little or no loss in the tensile strength after the implantation in the tissues. So it will not lose its strength, or with a very, very less loss in tensile strength take place. And other advantages, this polyester sutures offer prolonged support for slowly healing the tissues. So that is an advantage. But there are some disadvantages also. The disadvantages are poor knot security and high coefficient of friction and the tissue reactivity, particularly in the contaminated environments. So the knot security is lesser and the tissue reaction is also there at the contaminated environment. And coefficient of friction, the friction between the suture and the tissue material is a problem. So it has a high coefficient of friction. So that is a problem. Next type of a suture is the polyamides, which is the nylon 6 and 6,6. You can use both nylon 6,6 or 6 for the sutures. This is also available in the forms like monofilament and multifilament. And if you see, this suture will lose 30% of the strength by 2 years because of the chemical degradation. And multifilament nylon, if you see, loses 100% of the strength after 6 months in the tissue. And if you see, this suture also have certain problems like the knot security is not that much high when compared to the polyester, and poor handling characteristics. So these are the disadvantages. Next suture is the polypropylene, which you have already familiar with. This is available in the monofilament form. It is synthesized from the olefin polymers, which are the polyolefin plastics. And the advantage is it retains the tensile strength without reduction because it is a very inert fiber, so it does not easily lose the strength. It will retain the strength. And it has a highest knot security, higher knot security than all the monofilament and non-metallic synthetic sutures. So this is a great advantages. It is a best suture for the skin closure. But though the strength and the strength retention is much higher, the strength is less when compared to the other fibers like polyester. Okay, so when compared to the other non-metallic sutures, the strength is less. Polybutyl ester. What is this polybutyl ester? This is another type of a thermoplastic type of suture, which is a copolymer of a number of monomers like polybutylene, polyglycol, and polytetramethylene terephthalate. It is a copolymer of some 3 monomers, and it is a monofilament form of a suture. And you see, this suture retains its breaking strength after the implantation, and it has a good handling characteristic, and knot security is higher, and it provides prolonged support for slow healing tissues. And there are some disadvantages also, like a marginal knot quality. The knot quality is marginal. So whenever there is a force applied, tensile force is applied, it will cause the fibers to interlock. So that is a problem associated with this polybutyl ester. This is also one of the sutures to be used. And next is the stainless steel suture, which is the only metallic material suture. It is widely used. It is available in the monofilament or in the multifilament braided form. The advantage is it is biologically inert. It will not react with the tissue. And it is non-capillary in nature. So what is the advantage of non-capillarity? It will not spread the infection. And it can be easily sterilized by the autoclaving process. Normally, these medical application materials, whatever you are using, this sterilization is very important thing to kill the bacteria. The thing is, it can be easily sterilized, and it has the highest tensile strength and greatest knot security of uh, all the suture materials. So this is has a higher tensile strength, highest tensile strength, highest greatest knot security, and maintains the strength on the implantation. Till the tissue is healed, the strength is maintained, and it is good for suturing tissues that heal slowly. So there is an advantage. And another advantage is that which you need to see is the whether you are using a monofilament or a multifilament type of a stainless steel suture, it is not easily getting contaminated. It will not contaminate whenever you are using this suture in the contaminated wound or infected wound. It will not support the infection. But whereas if you see the discussion on our discussion on polyester type of a suture, in the polyester, what did we see? In polyester, the problem is it can uh, create the tissue reactivity in the contaminated environment. Polyester, though it is a little inert fiber when you compare it with the other natural fibers, polyester is a synthetic. It is a little inert only. It is mostly hydrophobic, but in the contaminated environment, it will surely spread the infection. So that is the thing. But stainless steel, the advantage is even in the contaminated environment, it will not spread the infection. Okay, because it is highly inert. Okay, but there are some disadvantages also. What are the disadvantages? The disadvantages are uh, since it is stainless steel, it has a tendency to cut the tissues. Okay, so that is a disadvantage. And poor handling characteristics. When you make it knot or anything, that handle characteristics are poor, and diminished ability to withstand bending or without breaking. So if you bend them, what will happen? Since this metal is a ductile type of a material, so it can bend and it can deform. So that is a uh, problem with the metal based material. It is not like the polymers. Okay, so that is the thing. So there are a number of sutures available which we can actually uh, discuss for a long time. But we have discussed mainly the sutures that is mentioned in this flow chart, like what are absorbable, natural, and absorbable synthetic, and non-absorbable synthetic, and we have seen for both the monofilament and multifilament type of sutures. So now, what else to discuss in these sutures? In the suture materials, if you see how to establish that this suture is good, for that you have to make test the suture to say that this suture is good. The property of the suture is good. For that, there are some important properties that are required for the surgical sutures. What are they? They are tensile strength, stiffness, easy handling properties, and good knot security. So there are some standard methods in ASTM like D321707 standard. So some tests are carried out with this standard. So what does this standard measure? It will measure the breaking tenacity of the manufacturing fibers taken from the filament yarns or staple or tow fibers under which this suture is manufactured. And then it is tested in the form of a double loop or a strand to make a knot to check the knot security. So these tests measure a number of things. And how it is done, the breaking tenacity of the conditioned or wet immersed fibers in the loop and knot form, it is breaking tenacity is tested. So how it is tested? When you are testing it, the samples are cut into the length of say around 6 centimeter, and then it is knotted also. Both knotted and unknotted samples are used to test, and then you put the samples in some 7 different medical liquids. You wet them, because inside the human body, when it is implanted in the human body, it is in contact with the liquids which are present in the human body, okay, like enzymes and other materials. So they are put in the tubes containing the 7 medical liquids, and they are kept at temperatures of say 21 and 4 degrees, because medical operations are normally carried out at temperature of 21 degrees centigrade, and the medical liquids are prepared at 4 degrees centigrade. This is the standard given by the Biomedical Laboratory of the Stuttgart Textile Fiber and Research Institute. So under the wet condition in the form of a wet condition, whether it is able to retain the strength, whether the knot we have made and in the knotted type of suture when it is wet, whether that could be able to retain the strength, and the knot whether it is secured. So these properties can be measured by using these standards, and also the breaking tenacity. So if you see the absorption behavior of a suture, after you implant the suture materials can be broken down by the enzymal and the hydrolytic process. Because the body also contains water and also the enzymes present in them. So it can be broken down. The sutures can be broken down by the enzymatic degradation or the hydrolytic degradation. And the important thing from the studies is the strength loss occurs before the mass loss. That is the mass of the suture before it gets reduced. Before that itself, the strength of the suture gets started to reduce. And if you see the synthetic absorbable sutures, mostly these are the thermoplastics. They can be degraded by the hydrolytic mechanism via the scission of ester linkages. That is the ester linkages. When it is broken, what will happen? It will become COO group, so that will dissolve in the water. So this is one of the degradation, which is the hydrolytic mechanism. And if you see the degradation in the body, it is not only related to the chemical structure, but also many factors are also there, like pH, electrolytes, because body also contain electrolytes, stress applied, what steps you are applying, and gamma radiation, irradiation. For example, if the implanting is done and it is exposed to gamma radiation, because for this gamma radiation is used for cancer, to kill the cancer. So though this gamma radiation also suture can get affected. And microorganisms and tissue type, there are many factors that can actually degrade the suture. It is not only that the chemical structure, whether the chemically the polymer material is made up of ester or ether, whether not that alone does not decide the degradation of the suture. So it is depend upon a number of factors. So summarily, what we see is silk fibers. They are used as a sutures for a long time, but they have certain drawbacks like insufficient tensile strength and undesirable tissue reaction. And if you decide to go for a synthetic type of a suture material like polyester, polyamide, or polypropylene, they have excellent strength and not security. Though there will be some differences between them, but they are a non-absorbable sutures. It will take more time to degrade. But if you see the natural bioabsorbable sutures like catgut or collagen, if you are using, they have certain disadvantages like uh, poor strength retention, and it will degrade very fast. And commercially, they are less available. They are not that much available. Okay, so these are the features of the sutures which we have discussed. So there is no single suture that will fulfill all the requirements. That is the thing which we need to understand when I started to discuss about suture. There are many desirable properties that is expected from the suture, like good knotability and security, inertness, adequate tensile strength, strength retention in the body environment, good healing characteristic, compatibility with the tissues, and degradation and absorption of the sutures in the body. But the thing is, there is no one universal suture, but a number of synthetic and natural sutures which will satisfy the above requirements to the varying degrees. It is not that there is only one suture that will have all the that can meet all the requirements. The requirements can be met, but to the varying degrees. Okay, that is why actually the research on suture is in happening still now to fulfill all the requirements. And now we have come to the conclusion of the suture materials. So what are sutures? Sutures are used to close the cuts caused by the injuries, or to close the incision due to the surgery and other medical procedures like wound approximation. They can be used on the skin or the internal tissues, organs, and blood vessels. It can be used. And if you see, the compared to the monofilament sutures, the multifilament sutures have better handling properties and not security. But there are some disadvantages with the multifilament sutures, like the property of capillarity. Okay, so what does it mean? It will carry the wound liquid so that the infection can be spread from the tissues, okay, to the wound site. It causes to spread the infection throughout the wound site. So that is the problem. So in that case, that is the reason why some fibers like silk or cotton, though it has certain advantages like a wet strength, uh, we do not use it very frequently for surgeries because it has certain drawbacks because of the capillarity. That is why we use the synthetic type of a sutures. In synthetic also, there are some disadvantages when you use a fiber like polyester, but still the capillarity problem can be overcome if you use some synthetic materials like polypropylene or stainless steel. That is why stainless steel is used more. It is one of the greatly used sutures. So there are many sutures actually we can see in this lecture. Okay, I think I have extensively discussed about sutures in detail. So I'm stopping here for today about the suture topic. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can stop here for today.